I'm Dean DeMarzo.
And I'm Tori DeMarzo.
And you're listening to Relatively in Tune, where we talk to creative people and the people close to them. Today, we're going to jump right into it because we are in person with our guests, Stacey Ryan and Anthony Cannarella.
Thank you for having us. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Stacey Ryan. I'm 24 years old. I am an artist, independent artist. I make music that I love. I'm on tour right now, opening for this amazing artist named Spencer Sutherland. I'm putting out my music, and my favorite food is ramen.
Important detail.
Fun fact, I thought I should throw it in there.
Yeah, so I'm a professional dancer, actor, and choreographer. Been in the professional dance game for like 10 years now or something. I love it, and I love pepperoni pizza.
Boom. That's a good one.
Good.
Wait, what what are your favorite
I was
foods
going to say,
now?
we need to start doing this. We had ramen last night. We were at Momofuku. That was incredible.
That was good.
I'm jealous.
But I like ice cream. I think ice cream is my favorite food.
You know what? That's a good one.
Ice cream.
That's a good one. You went sweet instead of savory.
Yeah.
I'll go like Chinese food, General Tso chicken, every time.
So good. So right. Sorry, I need to. Your necklace are those paradots?
I don't know.
Is that because it looks like the birthstone for August?
Oh,
Are
probably.
you born in August?
No, April.
Oh, love, you're an Aries. What day in April?
23rd.
Oh, so close. My sister's 17th.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a Leo. That's why I literally saw it and I was like, that looks green.
When's your birthday? It was August
18th.
18th. Close. We got married August 20th.
Yes.
Oh,
Ooh,
good.
dang.
Good month.
Yeah.
Good day.
Strong month. Yeah.
Strong month.
Strong
I would say.
month,
That's a very
yeah.
Leos are. Nah, I don't really know if I believe in all that shit. I was just gonna be like, I'm like so fierce and strong, and I
You're pretty
cry all the
I
time.
would say
yeah,
so.
you can cry and be fierce.
Yeah. We had the pleasure of watching you perform last night.
Yes.
You gave a wonderfully fierce performance.
Thank you.
And I gotta say, like, incredible performance on obviously vocals, insane, but also piano playing, guitar playing, bass on one song. That was a very fun surprise.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I know
So
you
cool.
studied music in college. You studied voice and guitar, but your piano playing is also like just off the charts.
I mean, I've been playing piano. That was my first instrument. We still have one in the house. My dad's dream when he was a kid, because he plays piano, so that's where I kind of got the love from it. He was like, I want to own my own Steinway, like my own grand piano. That's a Steinway. That was his dream. And he was like, I'm going to do it. And he did.
Wow.
Gary is a man of his word, must I say. And I just grew up like tinkering around. And then I have this one really random memory that I remember so well, because I started playing things by ear. So I would just like, I'm like, I hear it and then I would play it. My mom's like, I'm playing "O Canada," like the national anthem. I'm like 7 or 8, I don't know. She's like, how do you know how to play that? I'm like, I don't know. I just heard it and I'm playing it. And she's like, I literally, like, as a little child, saw the cogs go off in her brain and been like, what does this mean? And then I just kept playing. I had a piano. I had a voice teacher, and then she moved away. So she referred me to this other guy who I had for like 10 years. He taught me like jazz, like, and also like pop, like songs, like how to comp and play chords and all that. So I've been playing piano the longest, even though I never officially studied it. I did take a jazz piano class in college when I was there, just because you could take secondary instruments. So like vocal was my main. And then I like took drums a semester. I took classical singing a semester. I was just kind of trying
That's
to.
amazing. I'm so glad you said drums. That is something I've noticed. I was a drummer first and moved to guitar, everything else.
Okay.
Other guests we've had on also started on drums. And you can really hear there's just a rhythmic sensibility that runs under everything else. It just levels up every other instrument you play so much.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And I think I attacked it kind of the other way, but
Yeah.
I'm not. Well, actually, there will be a drum set in my house. I don't know if it's there yet.
That's true.
Do you know if it's there?
What'd you get?
I'm kind of hoping
So
it's not.
there
right
was-
now.
yeah, me too.
It's a little.
So in the house that you kind of live in,
Yeah.
I live in, there was always this like live setup. The guys who used to live there were in a band, so they would do their rehearsals there. There was also another producer living in the house. It was just very musical house, and they had that little like between the living room and the kitchen is kind of like a U, and that on the bottom part was just like drum set, keyboard, speakers to like practice with the band. And when I left for the tour, the drum set was not in the house because we had the couch. Our house is kind of, in move mode, like move in mode. Yeah. So the couch was like stacked up against the wall. So I don't know if the drum set's there. If it is, I'm going to play it when I get home. Probably get tired of it quick, not playing it, but hearing it.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
because drum sets are loud.
You gotta get the
Yes.
electric kit.
Yeah.
You
Nice
know
and
what?
quiet,
I feel like that would
headphones.
be a compromise.
It would be good. I feel
but
like it's
who's
a-
gonna buy that?
Yeah.
Not me.
That's true.
Not me.
It's like a musician's paradise, but like walking around when you're trying to find the bathroom at night, it's like not as
Tripping
fun.
hazard.
Yeah,
I know.
tripping
It's
over
like-
like the drum, like the stand leg, and then
Mhm. Yeah.
break your face.
We're
Yeah.
lucky that everything of his is in one room.
I'm in the
finally.
garage.
Oh,
So-
nice.
so-
It's a converted garage.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
all
We
in
bought
there.
the house specifically for that room.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. So many people in LA have like that converted, like either back house, like kind of where you live at,
Yeah.
or like garage or something that just is a studio, and it's always the best vibe when you like you walk through the house and it's like, this is a nice house, and then you just open like this zen like dim light, you got the little
Yeah.
neon sign, you know, the vibes, and you're like, oh, I want to create music in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
It is.
Can you talk a little bit about your friendship? So how did you meet?
How did we meet?
The funny thing about LA is that I have trouble remembering the first time that I met people. And I mean, I met you a while
We've known
ago.
each other for a while.
We've known
for
each other
sure.
for a while.
Yeah.
Because what's so funny about the house that I moved into, that was like one of the first places I ever went to in LA to meet friends, the guys who were living there.
Yeah.
And like I have a picture of me from 2021 in the backyard, and now I'm living there.
Uh-huh.
So we must have met around
I'm
2021.
assuming something like that.
Were you even in LA in 2021?
I think I was moving to LA because my brother lives in Los Angeles, and I kind of I was with a ballet company up in Northern California for a long time, and then I wanted to give LA a test run, so I stayed with my brother and stuff. But so many people would be coming in and out of the house. We used to joke it was like a Seinfeld house because you
No,
never
it
know.
literally
I feel
was.
like someone random would open the door and there'd be like a bass riff or something.
Yeah,
Like, "Who's
they'd
that?"
be like,
Yeah.
who's that?
Literally,
That's
So
right?
I'm
funny.
assuming that's how we met at like some point.
I mean, it must have been. Yeah, it must have been at
Yeah.
the house.
We did like a trip for Charlie's birthday in San
We
Diego, and I
did.
think that's like the
Oh.
concrete.
That
like-
was when we really, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a crazy time. I have a story that I'm not going to share on here because it makes me look really bad. But
It makes
we
for
had,
a good birthday party.
Yeah,
though,
you.
for
But
sure.
do you know what I'm talking
Yep,
about? Of course
exactly.
you do. We just had a lot of fun. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, that's kind of when and then we have been like running kind of different circles because I was like, I mean, I was still not living in the house
Yeah.
yet. Like last
Mhm.
year, I was like doing my album. I was dealing with all the label fun
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was definitely kind of a hermit. Like I wasn't really going out. I was like, I like to sit, and this sounds really weird, but like if I'm trying to process something, I just like let me sit in silence by
Mhm.
myself. I know that sounds like weird.
That
Not
sounds
weird
really
at all.
normal. That
That's-
makes a lot
yeah.
of sense.
Well, perfect, because that's what I did for
Yeah.
like 8 months. And then I was on a tour last December. And before I left for the tour, I'm like, oh, we're moving. But I kind of, everything just kind of, like accumulated time wise.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm leaving for a month. And then I have to go home to Canada for Christmas. But we also have to move out. I'm like, I didn't plan this really good.
Stuff just piles up like that. I feel like all of
Oh,
a sudden
tell me about it.
the next 4 months are blocked out.
Oh,
It's true. That's the artist
Yeah.
lifestyle for
that
sure.
is and you feel that
Oh my god,
too.
yeah.
I mean, especially because you're like it's more normal for you to do a tour, right?
Yeah,
Like that's
because I'm like bi-coastal for my work. Like sometimes I do
Mhm.
more like musical theater stuff in New York, and then more commercially dance stuff in LA.
Cool.
But 2 days ago I didn't realize I'd be flying back to LA. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing that tomorrow for the red
Oh,
eye or
wow.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like it is touring, but a little less planned out and a little more like, oh, guess I'm going here and guess I'm going
Right.
here. But and I love the lifestyle. It's cool. But
it's a lot.
yeah.
How does that work with your house? Like, do you have somebody to take care of it while you're gone?
I mean, there's
Especially-
always at least one, or so far has been. Like even when I was just living with my other roommate, we moved together into this house. We missed each other so much the first year we were living together. He went on a 2-month tour. I was on tour. I was out in Europe. I was in Asia. Like I was gone. 2023, you could not catch me in LA. It was crazy. I don't know how I survived that. I think there will always be someone around. And even if like no one's there, we have so many friends that would come over, check on the house. Like we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a great
That's
little
good.
community right there.
Mhm.
But I think we should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
That's
definitely
good.
paying rent for a month that you don't even go in, which
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
all the time.
I think when I first moved to LA, like the spot opened up, but I was doing like a musical on the East Coast, and I paid rent for like 3 months and didn't live there, which
Yeah.
hurt. But I was like,
Yeah.
3 months.
but every time I'm gone, I kind of expect a few houseplants to die. I'm like, they're not gonna get
Yeah.
watered.
and see,
unfortunately,
the
but
girl of the house is not even there to make sure the plants get watered.
it's true.
The guys are
true.
not doing that.
No,
Actually, I
no.
should text my friend
Mm.
and be like, "Hey, next time you're at my house, please make sure my plants are not dead."
One time I came came back and it was a snake plant, but the whole pot was filled up with water. And I was like, oh, I should have just had you not water it instead. I was
Too
like,
overwatering kills.
Yeah.
We repotted them all before we left. Probably a bad idea. They're probably all suffering from transport shock.
I can say we're so bad with
so
plants.
bad.
I
Oh
don't
my
even
God.
know like the implications of when or why one would repot.
No,
so
I killed
Oh,
a cactus. So that's
Yeah.
saying something.
I mean,
think.
I think I killed the weeds that grew in the plant after.
I'm trying to be good. I can't understand them.
You got more the word repot is not in my vocabulary.
Yeah,
so
same.
You know
you're
what?
ahead
I
of
mean,
us. Don't
I
worry.
quite literally took the plant, and it was one giant, like the pothos, the little viney ones, and I just took the roots out, separated them, snipped them, and put them in 10,000 different pots.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Sounds
Probably
right to
didn't do
me.
it right.
it looked genius though. When I walked in, I
Yeah,
was like,
you.
oh
yeah,
my
no,
God. I was like,
we were full on gardening in the house. Like we put a blanket down because I think it was cold outside. We didn't
Yeah,
want to do
yeah.
it outside,
That's
but we
amazing.
should have. Like it's dirt.
Hmm.
That's
Anyway,
great.
did
Whatever.
it. They're probably all dead now, but I will ask for an
You
update
tried.
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah.
I'm
you'll
kind
have
of
to-
stressing
have
about
to
it.
let
No,
us
I'm not.
know.
I will let you know. I'll be like, guys, my plants are all dead. Thanks for asking.
You went on tour with Lawrence,
Mhm.
and Lawrence is my favorite band of all time.
Love.
So I want to know how that happened. Like, how'd you get the job?
I think so. I have been fans of them forever. Like I remember driving to college, playing their live album. I forget the name of it, but they had two parts. It was part
Mhm.
one and part two.
Yeah.
The part two, man, superficial, that live version, I would
Mhm.
crank that all the way up, driving on the freaking 15 to Cary in Montreal, going to school. And I remember being like, these guys are so good. I love their musicality. Like, just huge fan. And then right when all the TikTok virality was happening in early of 2022, we were in label conversations and that was a whole thing. But the agents that I signed with UTA, the guys who watch over me also are Lawrence's agents.
Oh,
So it was
cool.
kind of a direct
Makes
connect.
sense.
But me being a fan, they had heard of me at that point too by the
Mhm.
time the tour offer came around. And I think it was end of March or May,
Yeah.
one of them, one of the M months. And it was a short, like I didn't do the whole run.
Mhm.
I did I think it was 6 dates. It was my first tour I had ever done. So we didn't
That's
want to
awesome.
overload it. But
Yeah.
I just remember pulling up to venues. I never pulled up to a venue yes, I had in college, but with a laminate and you're going through security and all that stuff. And they were just so not only are they incredibly talented and watching their show every night was diabolical, but they are also such hardworking people. After the show, between the show, before, they're just working
Yeah.
laptops, booking
Yeah.
stuff. They are awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And I couldn't have thought of a better pairing at the time,
Mhm.
because I was this fresh kind of soul pop. I had just kind of emerged.
yeah.
And what I was doing was similar to what they were doing.
Yeah.
Now you say you had just kind of emerged, but you'd been posting on YouTube for years at that point
yeah,
already, doing
years.
covers. You had a few blow up really big. I also
Mhm.
noticed you did a lot of work with Ryan Lerman,
yeah,
Scary Pockets, and Stories.
I was just talking
Mm.
about them earlier today.
Yeah, I would love to know how that came about. Was that
So
sounds right around the same time?
So, okay, this is crazy. I was talking to Ryan from Scary Pockets in October of 2021. I had just started talking with my manager, who's out there, in the summer of 2021. So this was before the virality, before anything
Mhm.
happened. Again, I was still posting. I had a presence, but
Yeah.
nothing huge had happened yet. I had a week. So every semester in school, college in Canada, you have a week off, a spring break, but every semester.
Cool.
It's called reading week. We don't read.
How much? Yeah, no.
Hell no. We
That's
don't do any
awesome.
of that. But I was like, I'm going to book a trip to LA. My own dime. I'm arranging everything. Because I just started talking to my manager. So we didn't really know each other. We hadn't met in real life. I was originally coming out in October to work with Ryan because he hit me up. He's literally DMs me on Instagram. Huge fan. And I'm like, Ryan Lerman, I'm a huge fan of you. I had been watching all from those first Scary Pocket videos. I had been watching since then. When he hit me up, he's like, are you in LA? And I'm like, no, but I can be. Let me know. I'll come out there and we'll do videos. So that was my original reason to go out to LA that first time in
Nice.
2021, which is probably when we met.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking with this manager and he's like, why don't we just kill two birds with one stone? Let's meet. Let's see if the vibe is good. I'll introduce you to a couple of my producer clients who have now done everything I've ever put out. Yeah, that was completely organic, the Scary Pockets thing. He's like, can I FaceTime you? I'm like, Ryan Lerman's asking to FaceTime me. And he's just like sitting outside on like sunny LA. I don't even know. It was October, so it was still kind of nice in Montreal. But I just remember being so excited and so down. That first day I pulled up, we did the Stories video first. We did, what's the Kings of
Night You
Leon
Met?
song?
Or
It's not
Use
Sex on
Somebody?
Fire. Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember that day being, I just felt so cool. And I felt like, you know. And then we did the Scary Pocket, the December video. September, my bad.
September.
no,
Yeah.
I knew what you meant.
I knew what you meant too.
Hey,
trying to
it's
think.
It's been a day. But that was, I remember doing that, like filming that. And then I leave and they're like, do you realize like who you were playing with? Like my friend swipes up. He's like, that's Otis McDonald on the drums. And now I know who he is, you know? But no, I love those guys. We were literally just talking about trying to get back in with them soon, but they have been like on their tour grind, doing their thing for a minute.
And Jack Conti's like always doing a billion
I
different
love
things.
that guy,
He's
man.
incredible. My
Yeah,
God.
just the founder of Patreon, you know, no biggie.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know.
And also, I mean, Tim Lefevre on bass,
Yep.
Leland Sklar.
So I didn't know that I was walking into a room with royalty. I'm gonna be so honest. I left there and then I was like, I should probably look up these people. And I obviously knew who he was, but I didn't like connect. I didn't know his face.
Yeah.
But
Or
I
his
know
spirit.
his bass lines. I definitely do. That was another American Boy was such a fun session.
I'm thinking in terms of like the dancer world, the music world, there's a lot in common, obviously, in terms of performance and how that works. But also there's a lot of differences in terms of like we can put music out on Spotify and earn money that way. There is no dancer Spotify like independent route to.
I mean, besides like posting on social media and going like viral for like a dance trend or something like that. I mean, speaking of Spotify, mine's like pretty messed up. Everyone's so excited to see like their Spotify Wrapped, and I'm like so pumped. And usually it's just like the song I choreographed to.
Right,
It's like, oh, you listened to this song like 20,000 times. Like, oh, really? Did I? Like,
didn't know.
So usually when it pops up, I'm a little driven crazy by it.
Oh, mine's a mess. Yeah.
I mean, I used to teach yoga and bar, so all of mine were all my yoga and bar routines over and over and over again, and it was like that's not really what I listened to.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would love to know more about like what the day-to-day of, I mean, you mentioned you didn't know you were going back to LA in 2 days. Like how does a gig like that come up? How does planning that all work?
It's a crazy lifestyle. So with like my career, I used to dance with Sacramento Ballet, which is kind of like the 9 to 5 of like the dance world, so to speak. It was a ballet company. You go in for rehearsals, rehearse for a month, and you'd do the show. And it was a great lifestyle, super grateful for it. But I'm not the biggest bunhead, as we call it. So I'm not, wasn't like full ballet.
What does that mean?
Because all the ballet dancers have their hair back in a bun.
Okay.
So if you're like super
You're a
ballet, you're a
bunhead.
bunhead. Yeah.
I only know that word because I've scrolled by it on Hulu a couple times.
Yes.
The TV show.
I'm so calling someone a bunhead later.
Yeah, it's a good, it's
good.
kind of a diss, but it's kind of
It
fun to
kind of
say.
is.
It is.
I'm a bunhead right now.
People like
If I
admit
took off
that's
his-
yeah. You
took off
got
his hair. There's a bun
got your
underneath.
bun. Yeah.
My bun. I'm a bunhead.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're good. But yeah, so I did kind of like the ballet stuff, and I still do a lot of it. But I wanted to go more musical theater and commercial work and choreography too. So I do listen to a bunch of music for choreography's sake. I just kind of interpret it like visually and stuff. So that's why I love living with musicians and hearing all the great stuff they get to put out because it inspires me in like a totally different way too.
That's awesome. When you say commercial work, what does that mean?
Either for like TV commercials or kind of like music videos and stuff like that too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in Olivia Rodrigo's music
I
video.
was, yeah. That was
Tell
for
me
the
about that.
sour prom thing. It was really cool, super fun experience. But it's a crazy lifestyle because you go in, you learn something at like 3:00 p.m. and then you shoot it at 3 a.m, and you're like, oh my gosh, So it's a little jarring sometimes, especially compared to more like the ballet stuff that I've done. But I also recently like choreographed my own music video and directed it called Silhouettes by
So
Them Fantasies.
good.
Pretty cool.
Cool.
But
Awesome.
yeah, so I feel like I'm versatile in that I've kind of been on like the concert dance, like stage thing, but also more like camera work too.
Yeah,
So yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
If you had to pick one, what would your dream job be?
Ooh, I'm shooting for Broadway right now, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the dream job. But
And then Dream Show.
dream show. Ooh, I love Moulin Rouge, but also Newsies is
Yeah,
a fun one too.
cool.
So
Yeah.
I have a lot of Italian New York family, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
stick to the namesake
Yeah.
for sure.
We gotta get to Newsies. We
Yeah.
haven't seen
Oh,
it
yeah,
yet.
got it.
I've only seen the slime tutorial. Wait, was that you that didn't know what that was?
I still don't.
Wait,
know.
what? It's just like a Broadway, like a a cam film version of the
Oh,
show.
that's cool.
So
Okay, gotcha.
That's why they say
the bootleg.
the bootleg.
Yeah.
That's the word. They say slime tutorial on
Slime
YouTube.
tutorial,
So when they
okay.
post it, it doesn't like get taken
Oh.
down.
Gotcha.
I wasn't.
I have
actually
no
thinking
idea what you were
that.
I
talking
love that you
about.
all laughed as
We're
if
like-
you knew it.
I was giving myself a minute to do the math of like
Yeah.
what could
I
a
love
slime
it.
tutorial
I think
about
that's just a
Newsies be?
super niche, like Broadway
Like,
term.
that's-
A super niche term for people who could never make it to Broadway or like see Broadway, like in
Yeah.
New York.
Mhm.
Like me living in Canada, I never saw a show until I was like 16. So that was it's for all the girlies and the theater people who cannot get to the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we take
That's
for
who
granted.
knows what
Yeah.
slime tutorials are, because you guys obviously go.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah.
So you don't need to watch slime tutorials.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Learn something new every day.
That's right,
Sometimes it's
yeah.
on the Google Drive link because YouTube is a little
The
too
Google
sketchy.
Drive link.
Yeah, you gotta
Ooh,
go.
that's
You
shady.
gotta go.
That's
You gotta go.
dark.
You gotta go through Reddit. You gotta look it up on Reddit. They put the link in the post, and then
Oh my
you go
God.
to the Google Drive document, and it's like part 1, part 2, and you're like, let's go.
right,
That's how I watched Hamilton the first time.
That's great.
Am I gonna
Not
get
better.
arrested?
No,
No.
this is perfect. This is
Oh,
great.
it's on Disney Plus now. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
all good.
It's out. It's out.
When I first came across your videos, because like I said, one of my favorite bands is Lawrence, but I also love Tori Kelly, and basically everyone that you say is your influence, my favorite. So came across your videos like a few years ago, and just the way you do runs and riffs and everything comes out so clearly and so precisely, like so effortlessly for somebody who, like me, is like trying to get better with their voice. But like, how would you recommend trying to like hone in on that?
I honestly hate answering this question because my answer is so shitty. It's really just like listening to a lot of music and just like drill it into your brain. Like
Yeah.
the way that I've listened to like Aretha Franklin and
Mhm.
like all the like Bill Withers, like I started
Mhm.
with those OG people that
Yeah.
like have that soul and know how to sing. You know, I obviously take extreme amount of influence from all those artists and musicians, and I would not be here if not for them. I think the more that I've come into like the industry and have met so many different kinds of artists and musicians and singers mostly, I think everyone has their own like lane. You know, like when I was singing with the jazz band in my high school, I didn't riff. I didn't know how to
Wow,
do that.
yeah.
I wasn't part of my vocabulary when I was singing. So I didn't like that just developed with like listening to Lawrence.
Yeah.
I'm hearing Gracie's riffs 10,000 times a day. But I think there's something on the other hand where you also have to like, you listen a lot, but then you also like practice a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mean practice as in like, oh, well, let me go sit down and I'm practicing right now. Like it's quite literally, in my opinion, when you're speaking, you're singing. You're using your instrument all the time, you know? And it's not the same thing. But like I'm constantly like singing all the time, like just mumbling or whatever. And I know this is the shittiest answer ever.
No,
No,
this is
this is
But, like,
actually cool.
It's really just like when it starts becoming like second nature and you don't even know you're doing it, that's when I feel like I started like riffing and I was like, whoa. Like, did I still listen back to riffs and I'm like, how did I do that? How did I do that?
Yeah.
I'm still kind of not in disbelief, but I'm just like, my brain is awesome. So part of it, and I'm a huge person about like winging it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I go on stage sometimes with no plan. I'm like, yeah, I know the songs that I have to play. Maybe the order will be different. Whatever. Maybe I'll add a section in here, you know, and that's a very big part of who I am.
Yeah.
So like riffing, I feel like kind of goes hand in hand with that because I definitely fuck up on stage, off stage, but like I think the part of not knowing if it's gonna come out right,
Yeah.
that's like 90% of the fun.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
And that was an amazing answer. Thank you.
Terrible, thank you.
No, because it's you have to kind of get out of your head because I feel like
You have to stop thinking, but it's like you can't not think about it.
Yeah,
You just have to, I guess, get to a point where like you've listened to it so much that it literally just kind of becomes second nature.
Yeah, you have like that confidence that like I have the idea.
Right.
See, I'm not there yet.
Like speaking,
But
you
that-
become fluent
that-
in something. Yeah.
Exactly. And that takes so much time. Like I think back to when I was like, even just performance wise, like when there's, if I can find a video, I know I can. It's on my mom's Facebook. Literally of me like with my music stand, just standing behind the mic, not moving a muscle, terrified, stage fright.
Mhm.
And like that was what, 2013, 2014. So in 10 years, which is a long time, I have like grown into that comfort level on stage and like I dance around now and I know how to like connect with the audience and look people in the eyes. But that takes so much time and people don't know that it does.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
Like to become a true performer, it really takes a lot of, just doing it.
It's got to be similar in the dance world.
Oh,
too,
yeah, for
right?
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I
how
want
do
to
you
see a
get
video of
that?
your first
My
little
first
dance
well,
recital.
I was 2 years old when I
Of course
started
you were.
dancing.
There you go.
Of course you
It was
were.
like Mickey Mouse's birthday was my first dance.
No
yeah,
way.
it was really cute.
Is there a
But
video of this somewhere?
Your
mom definitely
probably.
has
I think it was a
that.
tap dance. I kind of started with more like tap first and then
Did you?
transition. But it is like, yeah, you get used to it. I started super young, but did a lot of like the dance competition world too. It's kind of crazy because they just throw you on stage late at night and you learn like 10 numbers with your dance school or whatever.
Gosh.
And when you're like 9 years old, you're like, what's going on? But it kind of like forces you to like get your performance skills up, you know? So even if like you're still working on your dance technique, it gets you feeling comfortable performing in front of other people. And I mean, I do other mediums too. Like I love acting and stuff, but I think it's more performing that like is my favorite thing to do, you know? So just having that comfortability on stage like really makes
It
it.
takes time.
Yeah.
For
And then
sure.
also translating like your craft off stage to on stage.
Mhm.
That is also a thing that I feel like people don't really talk about.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you could, like the amount of times I've been in a sound check, perfect. No one's in the building, hear myself, slang,
Mhm.
crowd walks in, things sound different. I don't do as well as I was. Like that's also like so real.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
learning to kind of blend the two, being like, wait, I know I can do this really well. So it's just, but it is a different mindset. You have
Yeah.
people looking at you, you know,
Yeah.
and like,
You have to learn the room too. Like usually we'll
do.
gig at the same place multiple times. So like the first time may not go so well because we're not used to the sound. And the next
Yeah.
time we know like
Mhm.
maybe we should bring a different speaker. Maybe we
Yeah.
should set it up differently.
Yeah.
And
The other thing is like having 1,000 people in a room. It sounds different. People
It's-
absorb
oh my God.
sound.
Mhm.
it sounds
physically.
completely
Yeah.
different. The
Yeah.
amount of times I've walked out on stage and been like, and I'm always someone that will just like gun it and finish it instead of being like, can we fix this right
Yeah, no.
now?
Mhm.
Like I'll be like, whatever.
yeah.
Unless it's like really bad. But I think that's another thing that I love is that element of surprise. Like you never truly know what. I
Yeah.
think I like being surprised because I'll walk out on stage like a couple times. My poor acoustic guitar is kind of broken. She's not broken, like not smashed, but like where the jack plugs in, I think there's like a contact that's off or something.
yeah.
Mhm.
Fixable,
That's fixable.
I think. She's
That's-
not diagnosed yet, so. But I literally like in sound check, do the guitar, perfect, everything's working, love it. Walk back out on stage, nothing.
Mm.
First song I'm playing, pick up the acoustic,
Oh.
nothing's happening, and I'm like, all right, no problem. Put it down, grab the electric, played the first song, and like that, which normally feels like it would stress you out or me out. I was just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Wow.
You know?
But, like you were saying, you feel comfortable enough switching up the structure of songs on the fly.
Yes.
I think that's, as someone performing entirely solo, no backing tracks, 100,000% live, you have a little bit of
I have that wiggle room.
yeah.
And I love
freedom.
the wiggle
Yeah.
room. I love the freedom. That is one I love, just like being in control. And not like in a controlling way, it's just having that liberty
Yeah.
to truly like you said, like on the fly. Like I really, and not everyone, like not some people are completely opposite. People like have their structure and I respect those people. I'm
Yeah.
like, you do you, and I love that. But I don't know, I just do it a little differently.
Oh,
For sure.
I definitely am the opposite.
But like
As
there's
you're saying that, I'm like, ooh.
yeah, you're like, that sounds like
my
a
OCD
nightmare.
is like freaking out.
I kind of love it when stuff goes wrong though, because I feel like if you're kind of nervous for a show or something, you're like, oh, what's it gonna be like? And then like your friend drops the sword or something, you're like, oh, well, I guess we
Drops
gotta.
the- oh yeah.
yeah.
That's definitely in your line of work. I'm like, what?
I was
Drops
gonna
it.
say,
Yeah,
that's
it's
her
not.
set.
It's not a
It
niche
definitely
music
doesn't.
term, unfortunately.
Oh wait,
but-
like when you're like, wait, do you fence?
Yeah, I did a production of Zorro, so we
Right,
did like I had like
yes,
2
of
swords and
course.
all this. It was super cool. And then like opening night, like someone drops a sword, and we're like, well, we gotta
Right? You
improv and
just-
stuff.
Yeah.
Or
So
I do a lot of
funny.
like dance partnering and stuff too. So if the woman like starts to fall off her point shoe or something, and you have to like save the lift and go into
Yeah.
something like it, we do plan it all out, but you have to be on your toes.
Yeah.
Da-dunch.
Literally.
But, yeah.
Damn, good one.
I always say if you see a musician in a band on stage like smiling or laughing, something has gone horribly wrong
Yeah.
and they're having the time of their life with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you have a story there?
I don't. I was just trying to think. I was like, do I like when something goes wrong? Do I smile? You know what? We probably do. We all smile through the pain, right?
Yeah.
And we also have to try to make it seem like nothing's happening. when it's visible that
Exactly.
something
Yeah.
is
Exactly.
happening.
True.
There's a time when your guitar, because we have a, what is it, like battery operated something or other.
I play an acoustic
And
electric guitar.
So
Oh,
like
fuck
when
yeah.
it dies, it makes a horrific sound.
It's
But
so bad.
we didn't know that.
Oh, so
And
when it's amplified,
Sounds like an airplane
all of a sudden it was
landing.
like, "Arr!" and
Ooh.
like we just like kind of looked at each other and everyone was looking at
oh
us.
my
and we're
god!
just
Yeah,
like,
this
Wait,
is
you
in,
were
like-
on stage?
Yeah.
This is in like a winery, a nice relaxing
Oh,
atmosphere,
no.
Sunday afternoon.
it was like kind of like a club,
Ooh.
like
Everyone turns like, hey, just a moment here, just
Sorry.
gonna
Yeah,
change
we're
a
just
battery.
gonna.
we
fix
weren't
Yeah.
super sure about the battery. We're just like,
We're like, let's
That's
see
true.
if
It was the
that
first time that
fixes-
happened.
Right.
I think
Let's
you had to
Let's see
like
if that fixes
run
it.
out and get a battery because we
I
just
may have
didn't
sent someone to the
know.
corner store to get
Wait,
one.
which
To corner
batteries?
store? Oh.
9 volts.
Oh, the big fatties.
Yeah.
Oh. My for some reason my acoustic guitar, bless her heart, I don't know, she's still alive. I think she takes the little watch batteries, the 2032s,
What?
the little flat ones. 2 of them stuck together in the side of it.
Oh my god.
Everyone's like,
Wow.
I've never seen an acoustic guitar with those, and I'm
No.
like,
Does it like tell the time
What
too?
kind is
it?
Yes.
well, no, it does have a little screen on it, but no, it doesn't tell the
Oh,
time.
what brand?
There's a tuner. It's a Taylor
Oh, cool.
GS Mini.
Oh, I have that one. We have an aftermarket pickup we put in mine. That's
Ah.
I was like, why don't we do that?
No, honestly, that guitar is incredible.
I love it. It's a little sensitive to humidity. Be careful. I've seen them crack.
She's not cracked yet.
That's good.
Well, I mean,
That's
I
good.
live in an extremely dry place.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So
We
that
haven't
is
been
pretty
over there.
good. And I mean, she's honestly a trooper. She has been on so many planes in the cargo,
That's great.
in her
Wow.
little, well, it's not a soft case. I mean, you have the case. It's like
yeah,
that,
it's like the foam.
like that
yeah.
foam hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to have to get her checked out. But
Beautiful
why did
guitar.
we start talking about guitars?
Funny noises. 9 volts.
the
Yes,
mistakes,
the bass.
Yeah.
Of course. We got back.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Do you have any fun stories about going to some of Stacey's shows?
Oh yeah. I mean, fun. I mean, I enjoy myself like every time. Like I swear to God, she's like one of the most talented people I know for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like every time I go, I see her like kill the piano, and then she does guitar. And then last night when she was performing, I was like, oh yeah, she plays bass too.
Yeah, that's
And-
that's a new,
She killed it. I
That
was
was
like,
so
oh,
so
cool.
like a
But-
new addition.
I freaking love it.
And rare. Like that is
Yeah.
not solo bass and vocal is not
Maybe
a common
that has to
combination.
become my brand.
It
I
was
loved
really
it.
cool.
I was like 50% sure that she was gonna like pick up a tuba next though and be like this next one. I was like,
mean,
dang.
I played trumpet in high school.
Really?
You did?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I
Yeah,
did. I
mean,
just
hey.
don't have one anymore.
It's hard to play and sing at the same time.
Well,
think.
I mean, you
That's
know what
true.
song is the best song? Because I used to do it. Oh my God, I have to
What?
find a video of this in the jazz band. We used to do Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
Okay.
So I'd be like, is this too good to be true? All that shit. And then it would be, literally
that's
turn
great.
away. And then I love, kind of iconic.
It's so good.
Bring
That'd
that
be pretty
song
cool,
back.
honestly.
I just, who wants to listen to a trumpet practice in a house?
That's
Whoa.
Ooh.
I used to.
I'm in the guest
Do
house.
you?
so
Yeah,
I
no,
wouldn't, I
you're-
wouldn't care.
we have 2 walls.
Yeah.
But I used to practice in the basement at like my parents, well, my childhood house, and we had a bunny, and he had a big roaming area in the basement, and he hated when I played. He would stomp his back legs. You could tell he was so mad.
He's got big ears, you know.
He's
like-
very sensitive to sound, yes, and he hated it. So I can't even imagine. And then they make mutes and stuff.
I was gonna say silent brass.
But
Yeah.
I actually last instrument I bought was a flute, so I got to do that
Ooh.
first.
That's cool.
I got to learn how to play some sounds on that before going back to the trumpet. I don't know. I'm trying to touch everything at
I was
some
gonna
point.
say you're still like just pursuing new instruments. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's hard. There's no time.
Yeah.
I bought the flute, and my mom's like, "Have you opened it yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, a couple times." And she's like, "You played it?" And I'm like, "Well, I've like was on a tour, and then I moved, and then there was fires, and then I went on another tour, and I'm still on that tour. So
You'll
loving
get to it.
loving it. I
Take
will
your
get to it when I get home.
What was it like moving in with somebody who had like a big blow up on TikTok and then you like met
I mean,
them
I
and
kind of
you're
moved
like,
into
Yeah, I was in the same
How was
spot.
it acquiring a roommate?
Acquiring, freaking awesome for sure.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, you always want to be with people, not just like having friends in general, but in your vicinity who are like really hardworking and
Mhm.
expressing their art and loving it. So I think just having and Charlie too coming in, just like it's always really inspiring. You know, I think it makes you like work a little bit harder and stuff too. If you're kind of down, your friends are like still killing it. You're like, you know what? Like I want to get back on the horse and push too.
Yeah.
And besides her being like the chillest, coolest person ever too, it was definitely a perk for sure.
Is everyone in the house creative in some aspect?
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm-
Charlie is the roommate that I moved into the house with. We were living together before. I met him off TikTok.
Is that
Mhm.
Charlie Curtis Beard?
Yeah.
He's incredible. Yeah. We
Oh,
have a
shout
couple
out
mutual
to my roommate.
collabs.
I
And,
love
yeah.
that. Oh my God, I miss that man so much.
He's amazing.
He's so amazing. And so when we moved into the house with you and your brother.
Yeah.
His brother is like such a phenomenal bass player, songwriter, like arranger, just killing it so hard in
absolutely.
a band, like just doing the damn thing. And then dancer, like you said, to your point, like being around creatives it's fuel.
Keeps you inspired all the time.
It
Absolutely.
Do you guys collab at all?
Not
We have not yet. We haven't really had a lot of time.
Yeah, because she's been working.
Literally, like
Oh my God.
so I got back from Canada for Christmas, like the 7th of January or something. Wildfire started that day.
God, yeah.
So we evacuated 5 days after that. Preemptively, we weren't in like a full-on evacuation zone, but we could like see the fire from our house on the
my
mountain.
God.
Yeah.
So we went down to San Diego for like a week, like more than a week, just because the air quality was really bad. And then by the time we got back, it was end of January. You got back from Portugal.
I was in Portugal. Yeah.
Wow.
And then literally 3 weeks later, you were out to New York.
Oh my God, 3. That's
So
great.
we've only
That's
really
true.
lived together for
That's
3
true.
weeks.
The closest we've come to a collab is I have like a Stacey Ryan T-shirt, and I'll wear it when I like go to dance class and stuff. So that's like kind of a collab.
There you go.
Hey,
That's
cut
right.
off the sleeves.
I'm sure
like,
we're
okay.
gonna when we get back
for sure.
home
Yeah.
and we're both
We got
there.
it, for
We're
sure.
gonna make some stuff.
That's right.
Do
When we
like
have a
house
when we have a
collab.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, a house. Well, we need to recreate the new girl intro first and foremost. We've already been assigning the roles, so
That's good.
I'm very excited. Who's
That's
that
very
girl? It's Stacey. You know,
That's perfect.
That's awesome.
So-
We're big
Oh, I
New Girl
love
fans.
that. So,
Oh.
yeah.
love. I need to finish. I haven't watched the whole thing.
It's
I'm
good.
bad. I'm a fall off of a show
It's a good
person.
watch.
We are
I know.
too, to a certain degree. I think like it gets old after a certain
It
amount.
does.
Of
It depends.
Like,
It's
Or
so
when the
much
couple
work.
that I'm pining for finally get together, I'm like, okay, I don't need
Yeah,
to
I
watch
know.
it anymore. I'm so excited to not live out of a suitcase anymore. It really like, and once your bottle of very expensive shampoo explodes in your bag for the second
No.
time, I literally pull up to a venue. I'm like, why my bag smells so good? And then it was in like the zippered part, and I have all of them in like a toiletry bag, but it has like a mesh. Like that shit
It didn't do the
seeps
job.
through.
No,
Mhm.
no.
And I literally pulled like the whole behind. It didn't really get on anything, which is good, or it got on stuff that was easy to wash off. But like literally half, and this was expensive shampoo. I bring full size shampoos because I'm out for a month,
Right.
and I literally it was like this full, and now there's like less than half.
Ah.
So I had to like take paper towel to try to wipe up the sopping shampoo in my bag. It was so fun.
That's a good time.
It was such a good time.
Well, when you do get home, when you wrap up the tour, you have about 2 more weeks, right?
2 more weeks.
Cool. What is your next big move? You put out a new single a couple weeks ago.
I did.
Everything,
I
incredible
did.
song.
Thank you.
It's been stuck in my
Um,
head all night.
You have a music video for that coming?
I do.
I saw the little clip on the Spotify canvas.
I do.
of
So
it.
that's just, we actually filmed a bunch of like, work with this videographer, Chris, and we like just get together. That's actually my manager's house.
Oh, cool.
Like just a beautiful, like,
Nice house.
mid-century modern, like really nice place to shoot good looking content. So we've been using that for the canvas, but there is a music video that we've been working on coming out soon.
Awesome.
So I'm very excited for that. But I mean, once I get home, the next single comes out.
Cool.
And then I also have this really super interesting drop with Blue Note.
Oh,
So Blue Note they do these reimagined albums,
Mhm.
like jazz, but like reimagined as something else. And they contacted me because they were doing a reimagined Chet Baker Sings album, which is one of the best albums of all time.
yes.
And he's like, we have like MXM Tune and Matt Maltese, and like we did a track for that. And it turned out so like incredible. It's completely switched on its, like you would never think it's the same song.
That's so
Just has the same words, but everything else is different. So that comes out like not long after that. I'm headlining this festival in Brazil in Sao Paulo in September,
Ooh.
which is like the other 3 headliners are like Snarky Puppy, Jacob Collier, and Kamasi Washington.
Oh my God.
Get it. Oh
And
my
I'm
God.
like, I have a picture of me and Kamasi Washington at M. Tellis in Montreal after he played a show at the Jazz Fest in like 2018.
Oh my God.
So I'll be like, remember this?
Oh my
no,
God,
but
that's so wonderful.
that is, and you know, we have a headline tour in the works. Like everything is coming up, Stacey, right now,
Fantastic.
Very cool.
and it
That's so
feels
cool.
so good.
And this is all independent. I mean,
It is all.
Yeah.
I know
And
for better or worse. Yeah.
I have an amazing team. Like we just signed to Sound On with TikTok for distribution, and they have been incredible. Like they've gone far past what distributors normally do.
Yeah.
You know, like these are my people. These are my team. They're giving creative, not influx, but not influence, but
Input.
yes. Good word. And they're also just like super just chill, genuine people. And we've been having a really good time with them. We actually also just had a call literally right before we were sitting in the car outside here at 2 p.m. Because Eric Benet hit up my manager and was like, who is this girl? And what's so crazy is that, I mean, not only is Eric Benet like just an icon, like songwriter, singer, like he knows what's good, right? But 2 weeks ago, my producer, James, was like, and we've talked about Eric before, like, you know, we're big fans of him. And he's like, you should cover, what's the song? So it doesn't matter. His most popular song.
Mm-hmm.
But he literally said, like, you should do that when you have a minute, like cover it. Your voice would sound so good. And I'm like, yeah, like when I'm off this tour and I have a second, I would love to. And then obviously that was 2 weeks ago. I'm still on the tour. And then Eric Benet reaches out to my manager just coincidentally being like, I just discovered this, you're an artist. He's like, incredible. We need to get on the phone together. And we were on the call literally outside just earlier. And we were like, we told him the story about him or my producer telling me to do the cover. And he's like, I cannot believe it. There are no mistakes. That's what he said.
So cool.
No, there's no.
Everything happens for a reason.
That's right. That's what I always say.
Mm-hmm. And you're putting yourself in the places for those things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the things that are just setting that all up to work out. It's not a surprise that it does.
I mean, it feels like, especially after like 2024 was a really hard year in terms of like career and also like life. And it felt at some points like sometimes I say, like like in the cartoons when they go into that weird non-dimensional white plane,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I felt like I was.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see anything in front of you.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was trying to keep doing what I was doing, but I just couldn't see like, not the end because it's not the end, but I just couldn't see what was next. I felt like it was so far out of reach.
Yeah.
And that took so much time to like not lose that mindset, but like grow past it. What
was the moment where that stopped being the case, where that changed?
Honestly, it was the morning after I got dropped.
Wow.
Because I had been stewing in my head being like, because I hadn't, not that I hadn't heard from them, but they were kind of like ghosting me, to put it like in Gen Z lingo. Like I would text them, like we would be like, I'm like, hey, here's my album. It's ready. Hey, can I put this album out? And like, I'm just not getting anything. And so that was stressing me out a lot. And I'm like, what is going on? I obviously am not like dumb. Like I kind of was a little bit expecting when I got the news, but it had just put me in like this headspace. I'm like, I'm trying, but they're not like letting me, So I felt like restricted and I felt like held back. And when I got the news, obviously I was upset, like it's not a fun thing to hear, but I woke up the next day feeling lighter than I had in months.
Wow.
Like physically, physically, I was like, why? And I texted my manager, I'm like, I'm going to be just fine. Like I knew it. Like it really, it needed to happen.
Yeah.
And so that's when the plane disappeared.
Wow.
It takes the pressure off. I feel like
it does.
probably
Like
so
what I
much
thought I needed was the thing that was holding me back the most.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
There you
go. Pulling out the line,
There you
Wow.
Amazing.
I'm wise for 4 hours of sleep, if that. I don't know. I didn't look at the clock. So.
No, that's perfect. I think we're going to wrap up.
Oh,
Yeah,
I could
I
literally
think
just
so.
sit and yap here for 2 more hours.
This was so much fun.
It was
Thank you
so
so
much
much
fun.
for joining us, both of you.
Thank you, guys.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Thank you to Stacey Ryan and Anthony Cannarella for joining us. Stream Everything, new single from Stacey Ryan.
Do it.
And if you like this episode, leave us 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and follow us on Instagram at RelativelyInTunePod. We'll see you next time. I've been Dean DeMarzo.
And I'm Tori DeMarzo.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.